Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoy these videos, please click the like and click the bell if you want to be notified of future videos. Haim Weiss, 15, was a student in Yeshiva of Long Beach, New York. On November 1st, 1986, his body was found by a dorm counselor after he was late to a Shabbat morning prayers. His murder remains unsolved, though investigators believe the murderer was a student or faculty member of the Yeshiva. Weiss was killed by a hatchet-type weapon in his sleep between the hours of 1:20 and 6 a.m. on Saturday, November 1st, 1986. He was sleeping alone in his third-floor dorm room at 63 East Beach Street in Long Beach, New York. He was one of only 2 students in the Yeshiva dormitory to have his own room. There was no back door to the room. He was hit in the head so hard that his skull was crushed. He was struck twice in the head in what detectives described as an extremely brutal murder. The murder weapon was never recovered. The body had been moved to the floor and the window was open, which gave him a hint that the person who did this knew of their tradition. He was last seen at 12:45 a.m. Saturday morning by a study partner. The parents, Anton and Pessy, were living in Staten Island and only received word of his death toward the end of Shabbat when notified by local police. That's weird. 1,000 mourners attended the funeral. There were multiple peculiarities that led police to believe that the murderer was knowledgeable in Jewish rituals dealing with the dead. The window found open, even though the outside temperature was in the 40s. Weiss was taking antibiotics for a sore throat, making it unlikely that he would have opened it. The body was found on the floor, clad in pajamas, with feet propped on the bed. Police determined that the body was in the bed for several hours after the attack. So the reason the window was open was to allow the deceased soul to depart. Yeshiva officials refused to discuss the case extensively until after Shabbat. Investigators looked into a janitor, a mentally ill man, considered the possibility it could have been a Halloween thrill seeker. School administrators told the media they've had no previous issues with anti-Semitism. 25 detectives worked on it for months. They found a single strand of hair not belonging to him, but they're going to wait until we get better ways to test the DNA, because if they test it, they're afraid it'll ruin it. But they do have it. So this is good because at some point they'll be able to get DNA on this. They suggest the killer was someone Weiss knew around his age. There was no sign of forced entry or sexual assault, and no one heard of a struggle. His father was disappointed with the police handling of the case and requested the naming of a special prosecutor, though that never happened. In 2013, they reopened the case and raised the reward to $25,000. Weiss's father, Anton, appeared at the press conference along with police, urging former students to come forward. Now, an interview with his father in 2017 reported that a former student came forward alleging physical abuse at the yeshiva a decade before the murder. Well, that's interesting. They also reported on a suicide by hanging in the yeshiva dorm several years before the murder. Well, this is going to be interesting to do this. So I want to thank whoever brought this to my attention to bring up this video. We'll see what the cards have to say. This is for entertainment purposes only. The first deck, you know, that I always start with. You guys should get to know this deck really well. Haunted House Tarot deck. Take us up right to before this wonderful young man. I mean, he looked like a nice young man. He had his whole life ahead of him. Take us right up to his death and what happened. So, here we have I don't have my pointer. I lost my pointer. We've got to pay attention to the cards here. Somebody's got a weapon and the victim is afraid. See the weapon? And the victim's afraid. Card number 1. This was some kind of ritual. I wonder what the phase of the moon was on that date. God, November 1st, 1986. Let me just Google what was the moon phase on November 1, 1986. It was a waning moon. Huh. Okay. So it wasn't a full moon. Not that I expected it to be a full moon. But it feels like it was a ritual for some reason. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. This is ritualistic. Like they're performing like an exorcism. This is somebody very, very dark. And the fact that they have, this is allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Look at this. They're in the community. They could be high up. They could be someone high up. A pretty high up person. Just because of how they're dressed in the card. Killed in his bed. They debated on hiding the body in the building. Oh, the body had to do a certain direction. The body had to be like in a certain direction. There was very specific rules about the body. But I think originally they thought about moving the body. He didn't have a chance. This person knew what they were doing. He didn't have a chance. He's over in heaven now. Look at this though. Wait a minute. Somebody wants to give. They're not looking at something. They're refusing to look at something. Chaim, I want to communicate with him because this is somebody reaching from beyond. That's a skeleton hand. He's like, they're not looking at something. They're not looking at something. I'm like, what? So we're going to talk to him. Call him in with the steampunk for entertainment purposes only. Haim Weiss, do you know who murdered you? Can you talk to us? Please come through this deck. Do you know who murdered you? I'm devastated to be dead. Okay. He's devastated the way he died. Absolutely devastated. I was just a child. So let's let him talk. This was a plot. There was a plot. They had a plot. Just a second. I had to focus on this. He's focused on someone, but I think it could be someone left behind. I don't know if he had a sibling left behind, but here he is with his hand. Look at the hand. The hand coming out from the grave. The hand coming out for the grave to give information. Well, give it to us, please. So it was dark and there's something to do with the moon. So this was ritual. And there were 2 weapons, he's saying. They had 2 weapons. One might have only been used, but there was 2 weapons. And the first blow pretty much did him in, he said. Yeah, he was dead. He was dead after the first blow. He was really troubled. When he got to the spirit world, he was really troubled. This is a leader, a high up official. Something about his where's that card? Right here. I want to pay attention to these two cards. I'm going to push these cards, push all these cards aside. Let's take these two cards. He's really, remember, he's trying to get, you guys got to help, you know. You got to help. This isn't just me reading the cards. You guys have spotted stuff that I have missed. So think about this as he's giving us a hint. This was somebody high up. This is the emperor. He's high up in the, hey, well, let me ask him. Do you know why they killed you? I mean, it feels ritualistic, but do you know why? There's another leader high up in the, look at the glasses. And they might have been a smoker. They might have had facial hair like a beard. They might have wore glasses. And they might have been known for a special chair that they sat in. They had to sit in a special chair. I don't know what that means. He brought up a woman before, and I don't know why. I don't know what's with the woman. There's a woman, girl. I don't know what he's getting at. So I don't know if it sounds like he doesn't know if there was a motive. And they might not have told him. You know, how would he know? If they never discuss it and he might not know if there was a motive. So let's go ahead and jump to my go-to deck. These cards are interesting, so we're gonna put this deck away, and we're gonna ask my go-to decks, the Universal Weight. Can you talk us through what's gonna happen now? Is this case gonna be solved? They're withholding evidence. Somebody's withholding evidence. Shit! Why do we keep getting the Emperor? This is a high level, to the point where this is for entertainment purposes only. This is somebody so high up that they might even have influence over the legal system. Seriously. This is somebody that's got a lot of control. That's not a little control. That's a lot of control. And they're influencing. They're having an influence. This person has a huge influence, and they are withholding evidence. Which is probably why when they said they wouldn't even look at the murder, yeah, that's starting to make sense now if this was a high level. So he's with the angels now. Why is he showing a triangle? Why does that look familiar? Is this case going to get solved? They keep going cold on it. Is there anything that can happen to make it get solved? Spiritual. Ritual. A ritual to bring out the truth of what's hidden. How do I do that? Oh, I know. Okay. I know how to do that. Pentacle. Pyramid. infinity lined up. Infinity. It would be really nice for this case to be solved so that the family can have closure. What a wonderful soul this kid had. I mean, just a beautiful personality. And to experience a brutal murder like that. All right, I got something else to do. I got to ask about that is this somewhat of a shady, because they said there was a suicide before. It makes me wonder, was there really a suicide before? Is there some underhanded, oh, get off there. Is there some underhanded stuff going on during that particular era? Whoa, we got the moon again, you guys. What's with this woman? I got to figure this. What is she doing? Does she have 2 skull cups in her hand? 2 skull, and then we got 2 here. There was 2 people involved in this. This wasn't just one. This was 2. And the moon. And the organization, the dorm, they plotted it. The 2 plotted it. The two. We're getting that clear. And there we have it. 2 ships. Knight of Cups. And the date was specific. The date was important. There's dates on here. The date, and here's 2 ships. 2. And the dates. There's dates on this paper. Looks like almost like somebody consulting somebody else. I had to look really close at this card. That's 2 skulls. This is somebody planting a garden with 2 skulls and cups. And what does she have? 2 skulls and cups. I think there was 2 murders there. So I think the other one, no way was that a suicide. There's been 2 specific things happen there. 2. We keep getting the message of 2. Oh God, look what's in this card, you guys. You can't make up this shit on a good day. What is that? The infinity symbol. Look at that. The infinity symbol. To bring forth the killer. That's just showing me that the infinity symbol went out into the ethers to expose who did this. Look at, they even have like a mask. They're trying to mask their appearance. Oh, man. And you took out a young kid who had his whole life ahead of him because of some weird ritual with the candles lit and all the tools there. Oh, man. So now let me ask, all right? Now let me ask, is this case going to be solved? Will this case be solved? Is this case going to be solved? There we go. They're fearful. They're going to get so close that they're fearful. By the way, that's the card of physical DNA. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. They knew that, but here's the celebration. God, it makes me wonder if it's going to happen like in November, October, when the pumpkins ripen. And there could be possibly 3 people involved in finding it, I think. There was definitely 2. We kept getting that message. This could be 3. This is a celebration. They are going to find out who did this. You guys know from my past YouTubes that with the cases that I get a clear message And it's been 100% accurate. When I say that it is solved, usually within a year you get notice, and sure enough, it's solved. This is going to be solved. This is not going to go cold case for entertainment purposes only. So this young man, oh, look at him. He looks so nice. He had his whole life ahead of him. Tragic. Really tragic. And it's just not acceptable. Not acceptable. So let's send all of our energy to getting this case so that it's solved, because nothing feels better to a family than having closure around a horrific event like this. Thank you for being on my channel. If you have any comments or you noticed anything in the cards, please comment, because a lot of times you guys notice things in the cards that I don't always see. So I really enjoy your comments on these videos when you look at the cards, because I mean the cards don't lie, but it's sometimes tricky to decipher all the symbols and things that are going on in the cards. So I appreciate all of you on my channel.